Custom cameras are finally here for Rust Console Edition. That's right, with the advent or the brand new power surge electricity that has been added to the game. Cameras and custom cameras are a reality. I know, my mind is still blown, even though we've been doing this for roughly 3 months. This is for Rust Console Edition for the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, next generations, and everything in between. And I'm Jade Monkey, and let's go over all the different pieces and parts to make custom cameras for Rust Console Edition, and even the PC if you'd like to, but it's been on the PC for a minute. Okay, so really the cornerstone, the keystone, the centerpiece of this whole thing is the computer station itself. It does work in conjunction with the cameras, and the cameras are, yes, the very same cameras we use to craft turrets. You can now just place them on the wall. I know. It's crazy. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over some of the finer points of this here as far as like little extra features. If you didn't know, again, it was a surprise that they included all of these extra things. So you can peek on monuments with this computer station by using different codes. So let's go ahead and just show you a few examples here. One of them is the dome. We have the ramp here so you can see when people are walking up. We also have the top of the dome, so you can see when the military crates are up or even when the hackable crate has been dropped off. I can tell you right now, if you are a solo and you want to stay low-key, don't live next to the dome because everybody is going to be running up on it because of these computer stations. Now, if you'd like to know what the codes are for the dome, there are two of them. One of them is Dome 1, the numerical 1, and the other one is Dome Top, no spaces, all uppercase. And yes, there are many more codes, but that's like another video for another time. But we wanted to go over some of the custom camera pieces here. Okay, so before you do any of this, you are going to need a computer station. So in order to do that, there are a few different ways to get it. Obviously, the best way to get the computer station is to get it through the loot tables. I believe it's mill crates or even the, the elite crate. Maybe the brown crate, but if it is, it's such a low percentage. I think it's mostly military crates and up. Anyways, so if you'd like to get this computer station, usually the best way to get it is over at the Outpost. And the Outpost sells it for 300 scrap. I know, it's pricey, but you're going to see why here in a second. It has a lot of different components, like the computer, laptop, geez. And as you know, that has tech trash, so that's very, very valuable if you recycle it. So you can start to see why that's so expensive. But let's go ahead and go over the cost of this. So if you were to research this, this does cost 75 scrap. And you do lose the computer station, so already you're at a huge loss. But once you start to see what it takes to make this, so here's the research cost from left to right. You've got, for the blueprint, you need to give it up. Be on the research table and it costs 75. You're like, oh, that's not so bad. And it is a workbench too. But then if you look at the crafting cost, it takes a workbench 2, a laptop, 5 high quality, an antenna, and the broadcaster. And these all take, well, this one takes tech trash here in the end. So it gets real expensive real fast. So you can start to see why paying 300 scrap outright if you need it is usually the way to go if you don't find it out in the wild. Okay, so let's go ahead and set up a scenario here. So when these different cameras are placed on the wall, like so, let me go ahead and bring this up again. You just have the actual camera itself in your inventory on your hotbar, and then once you move it around, you'll see it go blue. And what you can do with a hammer, if you are standing in a direction, if you hit the action button, it will move the camera in the direction you are facing. So if I stand up, look, the camera kind of gets up on my angle. So this is a really nice way to set different directions, to peek on outside of your base, to set up trap bases. You know it, you can do it. All right, so once this is up and it's to your liking, make sure you put away your hammer, else you're going to be picking it back up if you hold the action button. But when you walk up to the camera, you'll see a thing that says Set ID. Click the action button, and then type in, I don't know, we'll say test 1 for this one, even though we're not going to plug this one in. And then what you do is you power this camera, and then you go over to the computer station and then type in test 1, and then you can see through that camera. Let's go ahead and show a sample here. By the way, each camera is going to cost you 5 power to use. It's kind of expensive. It's half the cost of running a turret. So it can get pretty pricey. So you will need a power source for all of this stuff. So let's go ahead and bust out the wire tool. We're going to use, I don't know, yellow. And this is our main power bank here. We have it going up to a switch and then into a splitter. And we're just going to walk it over here to the edge of the wall. And I believe this one's set to, what is this one called? Oops, we moved it around. I think this one's sample, well, it's going to be sample 3 now because we reset it. All right, now that it's sample 3, we can go over to the computer station here and then type in sample 3, hit add, and then you should see it at the bottom of the list or the top of the list. Is it sample 3? Are we not powered? Oh, I know why. You know why? It needs to be powered on before it can take that. Hello, good thing we messed that up. So yeah, if you're ever typing it in, you're like, why is that not working? Which just happened to me. I was like, wait a minute, did I mess that up? All right, it needs to be powered for you to be able to type it in. And then you can see right now, it can start to see through the different cameras. And this is a live feed. At the bottom, it shows you how long you've been watching it. And off to the right, you're going to see the current server time. Also, we have a sample camera up here and a sample camera in the back. So we'll be switching to all three. The new camera and these two on the side. So you can really get an idea of what's what. And it'll make sense here in a minute, because I'll show you some real-life use cases here that are pretty awesome, especially for those of you that like trap bases. So check this out. So over here, you can also use these cameras to watch to see if anybody's outside door camping you, which is very, very useful. So over here, I have this set up, and if you look outside, you can have a real-time feed. Very, very useful. But more to the point, if you've got door controllers and you set up a trap base, you can leave the door open and use this to peep and creep to see when you need to set the trap. So if you're watching this and this is a trap base and you see somebody on the inside, you can pop off the computer and then activate your trap, and boom, bees in the trap. Bees in the trap. Nice, right? I know. There's so many possibilities for this, it's quite endless. And as you start to use more of the camera or computer station, I think you're going to find this to be a wonderful addition to the game. And you're going to find so many more uses for this, and I still can't believe it's actually in the game. So if you're just getting started off and you're like, man, all of this stuff, like how did you set up this power? I just need some basic setup stuff to just get on my feet. I got your back. We have the Rust power setup. This is for beginners. We'll go ahead and put it up on the end screen if it's not already up now.